Good afternoon, everybody. It's Steph with Steph's Middle School Souffle, and today I'm continuing my discussion about bedtime. I'm going to add in a discussion about hygiene and the creation of a checklist for you. So let's just review. This is episode 9 in the series of sixth graders. In our last episode, episode 8, we talked about the importance of sleep and that most teens need at least between 8 to 10 hours of sleep a night. We talked about that screens, a lot of us parents think it's okay to put screens in our kids' bedrooms and allow them to charge, and your kid's going to beg you to do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. I don't care if they're the nicest kid ever and they're just saying, please, 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 mom, don't do it. Don't do it. Okay, because at least 89% of teens keep electronic devices in their bedrooms, and you can see that a lot of them are having troubles getting good sleep. And you know what? I need them to have good sleep as a teacher. And I want you to think about this. I want you to think again about the way your parents raised you. They didn't raise you to be fools. You're being fooled by your kids when they ask you to have a screen or a phone in their room with them at night. Don't be a fool. Do not be a fool and say no. Say no, because we educators, I can't teach your kid to read, write, love school, learn, no matter what type of cool strategy or revolutionary idea I'm told to teach and learned how to do. Nothing's going to work if your kid isn't getting good sleep at night. And that's on you. So that's where we're a village. I'll do my best at school. I will show up. I will do that coolest, newest literacy strategy. But I need you to show up too. Set some boundaries at home with this sleeping business. And again, I know 15% of you are probably rolling your eyes at me and saying, my child doesn't do this. Or, this doesn't work for my child. My child has unique needs. I understand that. But this is about the whole group development, ages 11 to 14. So I need you to stop saying my child, my child, my child. I'm talking about the whole group because, again, as a parent and a good human and a good citizen, we care about this next group of kids coming up so we can sustain and have a peaceful, beautiful world. So we need to start thinking about the whole group. So today, I'm talking about bedtime routine. I'm talking about a checklist, and I'm going to change this right here to hygiene. Literacy was my next one. Hygiene. And discussing a checklist. So when I do episode 10, I'm going to go over this after school checklist and caring about your child's peers and what they're doing and how they're doing in school. So that's the next episode. So I'm going to talk about bedtime. Okay, so last episode we did Maslow's hierarchy of needs, and we did this physiological needs where human to be successful needs air, water, food, shelter, sleep, clothing, reproduction. Not going there. But I'm going to add in today the next layer of safety needs, which is personal security, employment, resource. I'm going to talk about health. So we're doing these two bottom levels in order to get to the top levels of Maslow's. Okay, so a great read, I found this by Amy Morin. Again, I cite my sources. I teach my students that, so I'm going to model it. Should your teen have a set bedtime? So I'm going to read this. The importance of sleep for teens. Everyone needs a good amount of sleep each night, but the teen years are an especially important time to be getting that rest. Your teenagers might think they're almost an adult, and believe me, they're going to push you. But their brain isn't fully developed yet. Because of that, they may be more likely to take risks and make poor decisions. That's made worse by not getting enough sleep. On top of that, sleep-deprived teens are at risk of depression and mood swings, which I receive at school. They are also at risk of overeating and making poor diet and nutrition choices overall. So should you give your teen a bedtime? Right now it depends. The answer depends on your teen and your own situation. A 13-year-old may need more help going to sleep at an appropriate hour, and parents can help. Set good boundaries. Okay, another part of this article said prevent sleeping in on the weekends, and I didn't know this, but by nature, teens are more likely to make up for lost sleep on the weekend and doze until noon or later, but this affects their overall sleep patterns. Instead, get your teen up at a reasonable hour to keep the sleep schedule somewhat on track, maybe 9 a.m. Make a set bedtime. The doctors are even saying this. Make sure your teen knows that you expect them to be in bed by 9:30. Now, that's teenage years. I put my child to sleep at 8. But again, we need all kids to be in, I feel, in between 8 to 9. This article says 9:30 for later teens, with the lights out by 10 or whatever time allow for the right amount of sleep. It may be impossible to enforce, especially if you're already in bed yourself, but being consistent and telling your teen the expectation can help them to meet it. And be a good role model. Your teen may not be the only one who's not getting enough rest. If you always fall asleep on the couch while watching TV in the evening, or if you struggle to wake up in the morning, your teen is likely to follow suit. Show your teen that you think it's important to get the right amount of sleep by going to bed at a reasonable time. And again, this article, look at this. Confiscate. That's just not me, Steph, talking. Confiscate all electronic devices at 9 p.m. each night. Collect smartphones, tablets, and other devices. Keep them in a basket in a common area of the house. They might sneak it. I've caught Silas sneaking in an iPad at night. Boy, did he get in trouble. All right, so be mindful. Okay, so during school, children between ages 10 to 13 need to be in bed between 8 to 9 p.m. and without screens. Without screens. 8 to 9 p.m. I created this. And I showed my students, my 8th grade students today, and they were so quiet and intrigued. And I thought they were going to make fun of what I created. But they were like, wish I had that. So it just made me laugh because I thought they'd make fun of it, but they didn't. They agreed. So here's part of a routine for you. I made this hygiene checklist, and I can send it out through Facebook or Instagram, I think. I don't care. It's there to share. It's some ideas because I want all children to be successful, and I want you to be the best parent possible. You being a great parent helps me as a teacher, and then we raise a great group of human beings. So, hygiene routine for middle school. Again, this is part of a bedtime routine. This fits into bedtime. 15 minutes before bed, start going through the hygiene checklist. The kids should. You can turn that TV off and you can say it's time to go get ready for bed. And they'll know what that means. But expect stalling. They love to stall. Okay, so I would encourage you to change it to your liking, but most middle schoolers, because I'm a teacher, they get teased mostly for stanky breath. Their breath stinks really bad. And it's been easy with these masks on, but from my past experience and as the nation is going away from masks, that one's the one. And body odor. BO. Okay. So here's number 1. And I have my kids. I teach this to my kids. Not just once, not just twice. Many times I review it until they're independent enough. And I put it by the kitchen sink. Not the kitchen sink. Bathroom sink. Oh, it's the end of the day. Bathroom sink. So they're getting ready for bed. I brushed my teeth, flossed and rinsed, morning and night. Again, this is free clip art. That's why I put that there. I washed my face and hands with soap and water, morning and night. Again, acne and hormones are starting to take over. I changed into clean, different clothes to go to bed at night. Again, it's a routine. It's telling your body, I am preparing to put myself to bed and calm down, rest my brain so it's energized the next day. I changed into clean, different clothes to go to school. So out of my pajamas or whatever you want to call it in the morning. So those are 3 things on the checklist. The next 3 things are this, and it's right by the bathroom sink. And I thoroughly taught this. I have put on deodorant before school. And you need to directly teach how to put on deodorant. As a parent, you need to teach your child how to put on deodorant and when to put on deodorant. The problem with many students is that they put it on after they sweat, which magnifies the stench. So before school, morning, and maybe at night. I shower, and you need to directly teach showering. Okay, especially after sports or sweating. I wash my hair. Some kids miss under their arms at this age when they're independently showering and those hormones are seeping out. My private area, yes, needs to be washed. And my feet. Okay, so those 4 main things I wrote out, and I don't care if it looks silly, because we want our kids to feel good about themselves, not to be that stinky kid in school. And I understand my body is changing and I may need to add to my routine. So I have not addressed yet or put on this like menstruation. I didn't put that on there. Okay, I have boy and a girl, and my girl is in 4th grade, and we're not there yet. So I will change this perhaps or not at all. I think my daughter will understand that as she's getting older, and the same with my son. So how do I do this? My students, they surprised me in 8th grade. They were very respectful during this discussion, and they didn't make fun of this. They're very quiet because they're going through these changes themselves. So this is how I do this after teaching and reinforcing the importance of the hygiene routine. And I keep going over and over. Did you do your checklist? Did you do your checklist? Is all your checklists done? Okay. Then we move to the next step. This takes about 10 to 15 minutes. I put it in my bathroom by the sink. And both of them go through it. And here's what it actually, well, here is my checklist. I want to move that up. This is my example. Students today asked me for copies of this so they could teach their like 4th, 5th, and 6th grade brothers and sisters, because a lot of them are caregivers. They come from many big families like East Africa families, Catholic families, and the oldest, and I'm an oldest, are taking care of the younger ones. So they asked me for these checklists. So I felt good about that. Good for them. And now we are ready for the bedtime routine. Hygiene is done. You are telling your body that you're preparing it for bed by taking care of it. The child should set an alarm for the next day. The set bedtime is between 8 to 9 p.m. without screens. And this is the time, my special time with my kids, and maybe you want to partake in this too, time to reinforce reading. So when they were little, I'd read them a story, but now I'm reading side by side with them to calm down the day. And I am also modeling reading with them and the importance of reading. So Silas and I will spend about 10 to 15 minutes just reading side by side our book. Same with JC. And then I go to bed because I'm a teacher and I'm exhausted. But this is a great time. He enjoys it and I enjoy it together. Okay, so please, again, take the screens away in their bedrooms, iPods, whatever you have, phones, iPads, and put it with actual books. I'll have this checklist somewhere. I'll put it somewhere if you're interested, or make your own. Look what I did. Look what I did. I'm going to put it next to the sink. Yeah, I laminated it. I got it laminated. All right. So if you want to subscribe, please do. Share. Just share it with 5th and 6th grade. Even I don't care what age you share it with, but just share it with parents and grandparents, educators. And I'm going to be printing these out for my students because they wanted them. Okay, y'all. Have a really good Tuesday night or whatever night you're watching this. Bye.